You enter one of Avernum's cities. Well, they would call it a city. By Empire standards, it's a miserable collection of crumbling stone hovels, perched on the shore of a black, icy river. The dim green glow from the luminescent moss above gives everything an eerie look. As you enter, one of the guards mutters, "Welcome to Silvar, newcomer. Strangers are welcome here. If they watch themselves." They wave you by. Krantz. You meet a burly man. He's wearing a belt covered with tools. His skin is incredibly pale, almost translucent. His workshop is well equipped to work the strange tonga wood that grows down here. Some of it has been worked into a small boat, which is almost complete. The man notices you looking at it. "I'm Krantz, and that is a boat. I built them." "What do you build here?" "A lot of things, but mainly boats. There's a big call for them in these caves. You can get one for not much gold." He shakes his head. "Hope you do. The Slith have been hell for my business. Anyway, if you want to purchase one, say so. They're on sale. 350 gold. Where do the Slith live? There's droves of them to the west, on the other side of that huge lake, and they pretty much own it. People don't fish there anymore. Too risky. Of course, people also need boats to get up to the Great Cave, to the south. We didn't have Slith on the surface. No, the Slith are okay. As far as I know, only live down there. Not all of them are evil. I heard there's a settlement of them in the Great Cave that gets along with humans. Most of them, though, crave our flesh. They can swim for a long time underwater. We, on the other hand, need boats like mine to get around. Only 350 gold, if I haven't mentioned. I don't need a boat. Then back to work ahead. Good day to you. This concealed passage hasn't been visited in a long time. A thick layer of dust covers everything. Odd. Part of the floor just ahead is raised slightly. The corridor ahead is blocked by a trap selected to try to disarm it. You meet a man in battered armor. He seemed to be drinking himself into a stupor. Are you a soldier? No, a mercenary. Are you fighting anyone right now? Yeah, everyone. Fighting the catheads. Then the slith. Then the catheads. Then the slith. Hell, I've been beat up by everybody. I'm on vacation now. Go away. This is a young, well-built man, sitting and drinking ale. He's weighed down with 2 heavy leather bags and a broadsword. He motions for you to join him. I am Jay. It is good to meet a fellow warrior down here, though now I'm just a pitiful refugee. Are you a warrior? Yes, and a refugee. A refugee? Does that mean you're looking for work? Well, yes, in fact. I've always wanted to travel and see the world. I'm pretty strong from farm work, and I've hunted all my life. I'm really good with all sorts of missile weapons. Would you like to join me? I could use another adventure. Looks you over carefully. I'm not an adventurer. I could be a soldier, as long as I know where my next meal is coming from. Sorry, no offense. You make some more small talk with him and go on your way. You meet a man in battered armor. He seems to be drinking himself into a stupor. Are you a soldier? No, a mercenary. Are you fighting anyone right now? Yeah, everyone. Fighting the catheads, then the slith, then the catheads, then the slith. Hell, I've been beat up by everybody. I'm on vacation now. Go away. The barkeep busily polishes the counter. He's tall and sports a very ambitious beard. He greets you when you walk up to the bar. I'm Gary, he says, and this is my inn. You have the look of a new arrival about you. You can buy a round of mushroom ale if you like. I just don't want to hear any complaining. So, Gary, what do you have on tap? I sell mushroom beer. 1 gold. We also have free rooms, sometimes. He polishes for a bit. I like some ale, please. I don't need anything else. Fair enough. He goes back to polishing his counter. Well, barkeep, any advice on how to stay alive in Avernum? That's a good question. A lot of people come through here asking for my advice. I suggest doing for a living down here what you did on the surface. As long as it isn't harmful to anyone, of course. Did you run an inn on the surface? Yes, unfortunately. Unknown to me, several rebels were using my place as a base of operation. When the Empire found them, they died. Then, to play it safe, I was sent to Avernum. Not fair. But since when has the Empire been fair? I have another question. Gary continues to wipe down the bar. The sandstone slowly flakes away as he rubs at it, leaving it even dirtier than it was when he began. Any jobs the adventurers could do. As a matter of fact, yes, I'm very interested in finding a natural hot spring. If so, I could profitably expand my innkeeping's operation. If you find a nice spring, let me know. I will pay you well. Where would I find such a thing? If I knew, I wouldn't have offered you money to find it, now would I? But I'd look in the Eastern Gallery. There must be something like that nearby. That's all for now, thanks. There's a cave wood board at the south end of this path, hanging from 2 posts. Several sheets of papyrus have been tacked to it. This must be a job board, where people in need of assistance can post appeals for help. Picks and shovels. There's a note from Avernum the smith. It reads, I have been tasked to find supplies to recover 1 for silver. I will pay in coin for 3 picks and 3 shovels. Bring the goods to me in my workshop. Misplaced knowledge. To whoever reads this, I have learned that there may be scrolls in the bandit keep northwest of Fort Duvenel. Such papers contain magical knowledge, something very rare in the underworld. If these papers exist and are brought to me, I will reward my helper with powerful paperwork of my own devising. Signed, Walner of Fort Duvenel. Bat swarms. I have been losing carts of rations and also ale to swarms of bats. They come from somewhere northeast of Fort Duvenel. I'm sick of it. I'll pay a bounty in coin and steel to the first adventurer who can track these pests to their lair and slay 10 of them. The bounty can be collected from Gary the innkeep in Silvar. Message, Fort Duvenel. I am Jay, a warrior fresh from the service. I wish to fight under Captain Johnson of Fort Duvenel, but he refuses to speak with me. If any can speak to him on my behalf, I would be grateful. I can be found in the inn in Silvar. Please tell him that he can find me here. Mayor Jonathan. A young man in nice, well-cut robes shuffles papers behind a desk. A fine cloth sash, only somewhat threadbare, crosses his chest. A gold amulet hangs from around his neck. He seems pleased to see you. The new arrival, I see. Glad that you made it to see me. I am Jonathan, Mayor of Silvar, one of the 6 proud cities of Avernum. I would very much like to speak with you. You knew that I was coming? Oh yes, when someone with promise for the defense of Avernum comes down through the portal, word gets sent ahead immediately. I was also told to apprehend a brigand named Lagran, though he has thus far escaped our grasp. I will be happy to speak with you. Your courtesy does you credit. This is a harsh land, but not entirely uncivilized. I simply wanted to ask. You are here, it is done. It cannot be undone. What are your plans from here? I want to find a home and be left alone. That is your right. Avernum is a free land. However, if brave souls don't fight the forces that menace us, you will find that being left alone is impossible. Still, if you are determined to find solitude, you are welcome to try. Before you go, however, I can provide you with some employment, a way, perhaps, to use your skills. I'm interested. I'm glad to hear it. Have a seat. We can discuss our humble settlement and what I am trying to do to improve it. What do you do here? I am the mayor of this fine city and a member of the Avernum Council. Keeps me busy. My farm has been sadly neglected during my tenure. Towns here have mayors? Of course, we're not savages. I settled the old dispute. I ordered the troops. If and when we get attacked, I marshal the defenses. And I take care of the records. It's a lot of work. Where are the records kept? In the room to the west. They're not very interesting, true but necessary. I keep track of everybody I can find who comes to Avernum. Someday, people will want to know what happened down here, and when they do, my records will be here. I have another question. Mayor Jonathan sits calmly behind his desk, inspecting several letters and reports. They're written on crude papyrus, probably the closest thing to paper they can get down here. You notice that as he reads, he nervously fingers the sash around his chest and the gold necklace around his throat. I'd like to know about what you're wearing. Are you referring to my sash and my amulet? They're the symbols of my power as mayor and councillor. What can the amulet do? It can be used to send me messages from the castle, the capital of all Avernum. It is in the great cave, alas. The power does not extend to me sending messages back. What can the sash do? Hang from my shoulder and require laundering. Its only power is as a symbol, and yet symbols can be very effective. I have another question. Tell me more about the job you had for me. Silvar is digging out the silver. The excavation is taking place under our feet. Alas, this work has stalled, as the tunnels below us have been infested with worms, big ones. If you can go below and find how the creatures are entering the tunnels under my city, I will present you with both a reward and some valuable advice. Why are you building a sewer? For exactly the same reasons anyone anywhere ever builds a sewer. And in these caves, as it is much harder for waste to rot away, it is an urgent issue. Otherwise, things get very disgusting. How can I enter the sewers? There are two entries in the northwest and northeast corners of the city. The northwest entrance will place you closer to the infestation. Can't you give me the reward and the advice now? First, let me see a demonstration of your skills. That will tell me how much about how Avernum can best make use of you. Carol. The strangely familiar smell of baking fills the air in here. It smells like bread, and yet it's off somehow. There's a pale woman working behind the counter. She has the jitters, she says. I am Carol. We have bread for sale if you want. What do you make here? Well, you can buy bread and other food, and I have some cows. How do you like raising cows? Well, I try to take care of them poor dears. I'd love to sell you some milk. She chuckles for no apparent reason. But whenever I'm out with them, I hear noises. By the way, how do you get cows down here? Sometimes the Empire is merciful and sends a few cows through the portal at Fort Avernum. Most of them die down here. A few have adapted, though. They're pale and sickly, but they survive on fungus. They are a good source of milk and meat. I suppose you have to make do with what you can. True enough, most of the time, though, we just eat giant lizards. Even though the fungus the cows eat makes their milk and meat disgusting, they're still a luxury compared to lizard meat. You bake bread in Avernum? Yes, but with mushroom flour. It doesn't work. Not really. I mean, it's food. But, oh, how I miss the surface. I like to buy some food. I have another question. Carol sits behind the counter waiting to sell you some bread. She seems painfully nervous and self-aware. Noises, you say? Yes, out behind my shop. Clunking and stuff makes me nervous. That much is obvious. By the way, how did you get cows down here? That's all for now, thanks. Cave cow. You see shapes ahead, lurking in the ever-present shadows. You try to back away unnoticed, but they smell you. They're goblin spies. The goblins were a common pest on the surface until the Empire started to wipe them out. Most of them were killed, but a large number of them were dumped into Avernum. Once here, they bred like mad. Now they are your problem. The cow is blocking my way. We killed some goblins hiding behind your stall. Oh, thank you. I will be so much less worried now, I think. But then, if there were some goblins back there before, there could be more later, couldn't there? Oh dear. I'm more worried than ever now. She shakes her head sadly. Eric 3 Scars. You see a big scarred man. The reddish lines on his face stand out starkly against his fishy white skin. He's watching two young Avernite warriors strike practice dummies with cave wood saws. He turns to you when you approach. You have the look of the warrior about you. I'm Eric, but they call me 3 Scars. I can train you if you have the coin. What do you do here? I train people. Then why they go out in the caves, they end up torn up like me. How do I train? Come on in here, and I'll work you over in your battle pit. You'll be in much better shape after a few rounds with me. What sort of things can you teach me? Well, I can make you faster on your feet. Down in Avernum, the slower are the dead. Interested? With enough money, you can improve your skills in training halls. You can only improve each skill that way twice. That sounds interesting. I think I'd like to learn about that. If you don't mind my asking, how did you get those scars? At first, I encountered some bandits while wandering the areas around Silvar. Be wary if you travel to the north. Bandits set traps for those such as you. And the second? One of the spears of the Slitherakai. There are many of them in the eastern gallery, not far west from here. Don't go west unless you're ready for a fight. And the third? Nosy, aren't you? I am the third, fighting an Empire soldier that was stealing from my village. Didn't kill him. If I had, I'd be dead. Instead, they sent me down here. That's all for now. The sign says Hall of Training. Ignorance cured for a reasonable fee. Avernum. This building contains a small crude smithy, mainly suitable for small work and minor repairs. Several windows in the east wall help the acrid smoke to escape. You notice a large polished blade hanging on the west wall. A small man works at the stone counters, helping to keep the battered weaponry Avernum in good repair. He says, "Greetings, I'm Avernum. Are you in charge of this smithy?" "Yes, you can buy or sell weapons here. Don't have much of a stock out here. It's hard to get good metal. We do our best." Can I buy a weapon? Can I sell something to you? The sign says Anastasia's armor. Behind the counter, there's a middle-aged woman wearing a thick leather jerkin. A pair of suits of armor displayed behind her. On the surface, they would be thrown into the trash. Down here, they are almost priceless. She nods to you. "A customer? Then welcome to you. I am Anastasia, and this is my shop. We buy and sell here." "What do you sell in this shop?" "I sell armor. You can buy some here if you have the coins, or you can sell some if you don't." "Do you think that I need armor?" "You'll need it if you plan to travel around down here. Don't count on getting any iron steel armor though. Damned expensive, hard to make and down here. Leather's cheap though. Bronze is okay, and magic, forget it. Avernum makes all of the armor we sell." "Do you have magic items down here?" "A few. The mages down here, such as they are, have a really tough time making magic armor. Potions and scrolls, sure, but armor, almost never. Who is Avernum? My husband. He makes weapons in the smithy next door. Ask him about Demon Slayer. She chuckles. Have another question. I met someone named Warwick. She's looking for you. She's in Fort Avernum. Really? My sister's down here. That is terrible. I was hoping she would be able to evade the Empire's bastards. Thank you for letting me know. If you see her again, please tell her that I will have her brought here as soon as possible. Have you been able to get your sister yet? Not yet. It's difficult to find someone who can bring her here, with so many bandits about. Not that many caverns are going to Fort Avernum soon, though we will be able to fetch her here. The sign says Duvno 8 miles north, Silvar 7 miles west. All distances subject to being changed by cave quakes. Warwick is still sitting at the table, contemplating her soup. What do you want? I have met Anastasia. She's staying in Silvar. Really? Oh, thank you. She stands and embraces you. My sister and I were foolish enough to question the Empire slaying all the Nephilim in our province. We were sent down here, one after the other. I am poor, and there is little I can do for you. However, I will be sure to tell all I meet of the kind travelers who took pity on me in my time of need. Thank you again. Have you managed to see Anastasia? I have sent a message to her. The roads are dangerous, so I don't want to travel there alone. Soon we will be reunited, though I'm sure of it. There is a patrol of Avernum militiamen watching the road between Fort Avernum and Silvar. Their weapons and armor are crude and dented, clearly passed down from warrior to warrior for decades. They warn you to watch out for goblins and bandits, and then continue their patrol. You enter the tunnels under Silvar. Workers have been toiling to burrow toward the water to the south, providing a much-needed channel for the waste and trash of the people above to escape. None of the workers are visible, though. The tunnels have been abandoned. They are eerily quiet. You notice a small pool of green, viscous slime on the floor. It is unpleasantly fresh. Droknar, a lithe, humanoid figure steps out of the shadows. He moves to the center of the crude magical circle he etched into the floor. You realize that he is a Nephil, and judging from the many tokens, trinkets, and bits of bone he is wearing, he is a shaman. He purrs. The humans sent a warrior to challenge me. Well, you have found Droknar of the Split-Tail clan. You have found your death. Rar! There are Nephilim down here? Yes, you humans sent us down here into this pit, where we are never warm and never clean and always want for milk. For this, we will have our vengeance. Rar! Actually, it's the Empire who sent them down here, not the Avernites. Sadly, Droknar doesn't seem interested in discussing such political fine points. Ah, a Nephil, I will destroy you. Actually, I was just trying to find out where all these worms come from. Droknar favors you with a fanged grin. His tail twitches gleefully from side to side. You have found the source. They are caught with my magic. You have found the source. They are caught with my magic and filled with furious lust for human blood. Soon I will create a swarm of worms. They will emerge and drive the humans from this place, and the Split-Tail clan will claim a great victory. Swarm? Isn't the technical term for a group of worms a bed? Hurrah, yes, you can also call a group of worms a clue. However, neither of those words carries the right level of menace. No human will tremble at the thought of being devoured by a bed of monsters. Rar! You can breed worms? I can. It is a gift I discovered in the underworld. It is disgusting, and my fur is never properly clean. Also, the smell. But I will withstand all for the great victory of the Split-Tail clan. I do not want to have to kill you. Leave this place or die. Droknar shakes his head. Retreat? Flee? Submit to humans? Never! You will feed my swarm, and they will grow stronger. Grrr! Droknar begins to hum a low chant. You hear the hissing of worms coming behind you. This shaman must have the power to call them. That's one mystery solved. Drognar stares down at his wounds with disbelief. Then he lets out a long howl. Come, Rar! Come, my foul children! Come and aid your protector, and feed. There's a small peculiar park in the middle of this town. Several of the Avernum trees, half wood, half fungus, surround a small pond. There are neither lily pads nor ducks. There is, however, a lot of lichen, and tiny lizards frolic about. Strange, you hear someone humming nearby, but the sound doesn't seem to be coming from any of the townsfolk. Living statue. You look closer at the statue. It's cleaner than the others, and a much nicer piece of craftsmanship to boot. Then it winks at you. Hey, you're a living statue. What are you doing here? I just stand here. Watch, listen. It starts humming gently, unconcerned about your presence. Mayor Jonathan sits calmly behind his desk, inspecting several letters and reports. They're written on crude papyrus, probably the closest thing to paper they can get down here. You notice that as he reads, he nervously fingers the sash around his chest and the gold necklace around his throat. Your worm infestation was caused by a nephew named Drognar. He is dead. How very interesting. Our feline foes are becoming more ingenious in finding ways to assault us. And as promised, here is a reward. He removes a silver ring from his hand and presents it to you. It is enchanted. Also, as promised, I have advice. You said you have advice to give me. 2 pieces. First, you should know that there is an enchanted pylon in the tunnels below us. Second, if you wish a true use for your skills, you should travel to the castle, far to the southwest in the Great Cave. To enter that fortress, however, you will need a crown token. Tell me about the pylon. Certain trusted individuals are given the ability to use the magic of these pylons to travel quickly through Avernum. You can learn more about them in the Tower of Maggie to the south. Our pylons in the tunnel network below in the northeast corner. I will make sure that the door to it is unlocked for you. Tell me about the castle. King Mika wisely rules Avernum from there. If you truly wish to do good fighting for your newfound homeland, that is where you should go. How do I get a crown token? You find a mayor who has one to present, and you earn it. It is how you prove you can be trusted to spend time with our king. Alas, I do not have one to give, but the mayor of Formello to the north does. You should go north and speak with her. If the rumors I have heard are true, she has a task that may be worth your effort. Stone Servant. This stone worker doesn't respond when you approach. Mages tend to create these constructs to do heavy lifting for them. Once the animating wizard departs, the mindless creation is left to crumble silently away. Some kind-hearted people feel that this conduct is cruel mistreatment of these creatures' objects. Agitating too loudly about this in Empire is one good way to earn a free trip to Avernum.